So let's look at some work problems. So Jaden can paint a room in 3 hours and Chase can paint the same room in 4. So I'm going to put that on a number line for you really quick. Here's Jaden. It takes her 3 hours to paint one room. And it takes Chase 4 hours to paint the same room, to paint one room. I hear 12. I hear a bunch of people saying 12. Why do you say 12? Okay, but what did you do? Can you tell me what you did with my number line? Okay, Philip, thank you so much for raising your hand. Good. They meet at 12. Okay, check this out. So how many, this would be 2 rooms? And 3 rooms? Jesse, why don't you have a seat outside? And 4 rooms? And then Chase, it would be 2 rooms in 8 hours, and 3 rooms and 12 hours, correct? Everybody see how that's on the number line? How many rooms will each of them paint before they have been working for the same amount of time? Well, what's the answer to that? You see why you don't want to jump to conclusions? What's the total that Jaden painted? 4. And what's the total that Chase painted? So how much did they paint together? If they work together, will it take them more than, less than, or exactly 3 hours to paint one room, and why? Talk that out for a second. Who has an argument for me? Nobody would like to explain their reasoning? All right, Philip. Okay, Philip says exactly 3. Anybody want to dispute that? Let's hear it. That's a really good way to put it. If Jaden's all by herself and she has to do the whole room by herself and it takes her 3 hours to do it, right, Philip? If she has Chase come help her, but she's still working at the same rate, right? Can anybody guess how long you think it'll take them together? 2.5? Okay. So Philip says 2.5. Do you have any other? We'll say 2.5. Anybody else want to guess? Come on. It's not that big of a deal. Take a guess. You already got the guess. Okay. Nobody wants to have any fun with it. All right. 1.7 hours. All right. Pay attention. So if Jaden can paint one room in 3 hours, after 1 hour, how much of the room has Jaden painted? A third. After 1 hour, Chase will have painted how much of the room? A fourth. Right? That can go back to here. Oh, I have it right here. So if it takes her 3 hours, then 1 hour will be a third. After 1 hour, they will have painted how much? What do you think? What's 1/3 plus 1/4? How do we know? If their common denominator is 12, you have to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. So 1 times 4 is 4/12. With that same reasoning, 1/4 would turn into 3/12. If I add those together, I would get 7/12, right? 7/12 of the room? I don't think Okay. After 2 hours, how much has she painted? And how much has he painted? Or 2/4? I'm not even going to go that far with this. After 3 hours, how much would she paint? A whole. Right? The job would be done. 3 out of the thirds. And what about Chase? 3 out of the 4 or fourth. So I'm going to explain it like this. If I wanted to know how much time it takes for them to do it together, I would compare how much time it takes them to do it together compared to how much time it takes for Jaden to do it alone, plus how much time it takes them to do together compared to how long it takes Chase to do it alone to complete one job. Okay? So this would turn into what? Four 12ths, correct? Plus 3 12ths. And you guys said I was going to make this easy, huh? Equals one whole job. Now what? Now what do I do? Add them. So what is it? 7 12ths equals 1. What could I do to solve for that? Times it by what? How about by the reciprocal? Wouldn't that be easier? 12 over 7 times 12 over 7. That cancels that, that cancels that. So it would take them together 12/7. How would I find that? 12 divided by 7. Whoops. 12 divided by 7. 7 goes into 12 how many times? With a remainder of 5. Bring down a 0. 7 goes into 50 how many times?
I said 1.7.
I know you did. About 1.7 hours to do it together. Ready to organize this information in a little bit more friendly way? I'm ready to. This looks familiar, right? You guys know how to use this, correct? All right. Well, let's let A be the time it takes the first person to do the job alone, and B be the second person to do the job alone. Let's try that. So how long does it take Jaden?
3.
And how long does it take Chase?
4.
What is A times B? And what goes here? So if I compare the time it takes them, if you multiply, compared to if you add, I get 12/7. I'm so disappointed in the reaction that I am getting. Last period too. How does this one compare to this? Okay, you need to explain to me why it works. What's going on here? How do we get to 12? We're finding a common denominator, right? How do you usually find a common denominator? Multiply, and then once you have a common denominator, what are you allowed to do? Add. So what's happening? I'm finding a common denominator, and then I'm adding my numerators. Only my numerator and my denominator are opposite. But when didn't we originally get 7/12 x, and then we multiplied by the reciprocal? So you're really just organizing the information in such a way that you find the denominator and find the numerator and then compare them. The time it takes them together over the total time, right? Okay. Let's move on. Let's try another one. Ben and Jake are trying to earn money. Let me give you your note. Recording. So my first job is to read and circle important info. So Ben and Jake are trying to earn money for summer camp. They decided to rake leaves to earn money. Ben can rake a lawn and bag the leaves in 5 hours. So Ben can do it in 5 hours, while Jake can do it in 3 hours. If they work together, how long will it take them to rake and bag the leaves? So I've got Ben takes 5. Ben can do it in 5. Jake can do it in 3. Together, we're not sure. Correct? So let's write an equation for that. I have a nice way to organize my information to write my equation, correct? Okay, what would go here? 5, 3. How much time does it take them to do it together? 15. 8. What is this again? That's the common denominator, right? And this is the numerators added together, right? Because we had to take the inverse of it, right? Okay. Equals together. So that would be 15 over 8 equals x. Well, what is 15 divided by 8? Almost 2, right? So this decimal is going to be pretty high. So 1 times 8 is 8. What do I get? 6 times 8. What about 7? 7 times 8. What about 8? What about 9? Not quite 9, right? So 8 times 8 is 64. And I can tell that this isn't, it's going to keep going, right? So I'm going to stop there. And in order to get full credit, yes, in order to get full credit, is everybody listening to me? It's about 1.8. Did I make a mistake? It can't be 2, because 8 doesn't go into 15 twice. Okay. So in order to get full credit, you need to write together. It would take, here's the important one, about, why am I writing it? Why is about so important? Because it's not exact, unless you want to keep going in the decimal. You want to keep going on the decimal, Mario? Okay, so if I stop, I need to put about, okay, or approximately. It would take approximately 1.8 hours. Yes. Put it for every problem. Not that bad, huh? How many of you are not as scared of word problems now? Sometimes they'll be inexact. I don't know. All right, can I move on? Does everybody have that? All right, you guys try one. Okay, so Brittany got 2.9. I want to show you guys how you would do this using the traditional method. You guys ready for it? Okay, the time it takes them together compared to how long it would take, who are we talking about, Jeanette? Jeanette, how long would it take Jeanette? It's right here. Plus the time it would take them together if Brandy did it by herself equals 1. 1 job done. What would you do? Find the LCM, common denominator, add them together. What's the LCM? 35. How much is it putting the jobs together? Look, this right here. What do you think this number is going to be? This is 35. What do you think this number is going to be when I add them together? 12. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. It's right here, right? You see it? You got it? I want you guys to be able to see the comparison in case another teacher wants to see it. Okay, I don't want to confuse you. Bye. I don't want to confuse you. I want to show the correlation. Everybody eyes up here. Who sees the correlation here between this and this?
Why do you do it?
Why do you flip it? Let's watch. How would I solve this? You would take the reciprocal. See now? That's how you would solve for t. You would take the reciprocal. When you take the reciprocal, you get t equals what? Wrong side. T equals 3512. Please stop talking. Which is exactly what I have over here. See the comparison? Let's do this one. How would we set this one up? T over 5 plus T over 3 equals 1. 1 job done. Add the parts that it would take for him to do it, her to do it, put it together, how much it would be for 1 job. Okay? Okay. I've got a new one. Pencils down. Eyes up here. On Saturdays, Ryan helps his father install satellite TV systems. The job normally takes Ryan's dad, so it takes the dad 5 hours. But when Ryan, please stop talking. But when Ryan helps, the job takes him 4 hours. Together, it takes them 4. How long will it take Ryan to do the job himself? We don't know. Not too much more difficult. What would go here? 5 or x, either one, right? What would go here? What goes here? Recording. So, what would go down here? 5 plus x. Okay? Would be the total time together. What's the total time together? 4 hours. So let's set up our equation. 5x over 5 plus x equals 4. You should be able to do these in your sleep by now, right? What's my first step? What? What's my LCM? 5 plus x. So if I multiply this side by 5 plus x, and I multiplied this side by 5 plus x, what would happen? I would clear the denominator, right? And what do I get? 5x equals 20 plus 4x. Now what? Subtract 4x from both sides, and I get what? 20. X equals 20. Yikes! It takes Ryan 20 hours. Does that make sense? Let's go back and look at it. If it takes his dad 5, Ryan comes and helps him, and it only takes him 4 now. Is that a lot of help? It's really not, right? If somebody coming over and helping you do a job before, when they were kind of close, 3 and 4 hours, it cut it down to under 2 hours, right? So if it takes his dad 5, and when Ryan comes and tries to help him, maybe hand him a hammer or something, right? It cuts it down to 4 hours. So if Ryan were to do it all by himself, it would take him a long time. Yeah, it would take him 20 hours.
It's like you could have called.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you guys have that written down. 3, 2, 1. All right, you guys, let's just for the heck of it set it up using traditional method. So before we were saying this was the time it would take him together compared to one person. Together, one person equals one job. Let's see if we can set this one up. What would I put for T this time? Don't I know how much it takes for them to do it together? 4 compared to what? The total time together divided by, let's go back and look again. How did this set up? The time together compared to the time by herself, the time together compared to the time by herself, added together to make the total job. So, together by self, together by self. So what would go here? Together over what? 5 plus together over, no, X, right? Together, 5 is how much she can do it, or he can do it, Dad. This is Ryan, equals what? No. What was this one? One job. What's this one going to be? One job. Now that I've shown you the easy way, you guys don't even care, right? It's good to learn the hard way. Do you see the correlation? Okay, so we know what our denominator is. Guys, look. Here's our denominator. It's just in the numerator here, right? That's our LCM right there. It's our common denominator. Right? So I'd have to multiply this side by what in order to get a common denominator? Guys? X plus, and I have to multiply this side by what? 5. Isn't that what we did? Totally what we did, right? Equals what? If you have to multiply this by in the denominator, so we did for the past 3 weeks, equals what? 5x. Isn't that exactly what we have up here? Yes. I'm not going to go any further. Right? This is the same. We got there the exact same way. See that? Exact same way. All right. Do this one on your own. Okay, so here is what I got. About 11.1. I need the talking to stop, please. So what should I write? It would take Troy, what's that key word? About or approximately 11.1 hours. Good job, guys. We'll skip over this one. I need your attention, please. So what did you learn today? Work problems. What information do you need in order to solve a work problem? Together and then separately, right? Okay, so here we go. Mrs. Muller can grade a stack of papers in 2 hours. Miss Liz can grade the same stack in 3. How long will it take them if they work together? Well, Bobby says it would take them 4 hours together. Brenda says it would take them 1.5 hours together. Who is right? How do you know? Why is Brenda right? No, just common sense, no math. Why is Brenda right? Because it wouldn't take longer to grade papers together. Right? You'd split up the words. Okay, make sure you have that on your assignment sheet.
Wait, what's the answer?